Good afternoon. This is Media Center, Ukraine, Odesa. This is our second briefing for today. It is not traditional for us because usually we discuss the war-related topics, but the current topic is very important for the Ukrainian youth. That's why we decided to organize this briefing. At the end of June, at the beginning of July, there was the International Computer Project Competition Informatics 2023, and the Ukrainian team achieved significant results there. We have invited Ihor Melikhov, coordinator of the Ukrainian team. He's online with us. Yulia Butuk, the participant of the competition, is here in person, and we also have online with us Nazar Solopikhin, gold medalist of the competition. I would like to first give floor to Ihor Melikhov, who will share details about this competition. Good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation. Informatics is the international IT competition, an annual one. Before the pandemic, Bucharest in Romania used to host it, and after the pandemic, it is hosted by Mexico, and the Autonomous University of Guadalajara has been hosting this competition 3 years in a row. There is the blended format because of the situation. There are both possibilities, online and offline participation. Participants from more than 20 countries participated in this year contracts, and there were such areas as the popularization of science, scientific production, and scientific documentary, etc. The National Naturalist Center is the partner of the competitors in Ukraine. Thank you. And in what areas Ukrainian team was represented? In all 6 areas. So that was the national Ukrainian team from Ukraine, and there were teams that participated in all nominations. And now I would like to give floor to Yulia. Can you share details about your participation in this competition? I competed in computer art with the animation series that had 3 episodes and was called Friendship. It was titled Friendship. Before that, I had participated in the competition 3 times in online format. First, I won a silver medal, the second time bronze medal, and this time I just participated. You mentioned that you participated online before. What about this time? Have you visited Mexico? No, just 3 times in online format. And what is your series about? My animation series was about the main character, Cherry Vyshenka, and his friend, Kvitochka Lyubachka, so the flower named Lyubachka. But this animation not just told about their friendship, but about how this friendship helped that Cherry to achieve the results he wanted. So he was supported by his friend, the flower called Lyubachka, and he won gold in Paralympic Games. But I did not just create the animation, I just developed the story of that animation. It was created during blackout in our city. And I just told how we managed to create that animation without power supply, because usually during blackout people did something back home. For example, they tried to boil water to charge their phones as soon as they had power supply. But I also wanted to create my animation. Thank you. I think that we will come back to your series a bit later. Now I would like to give floor to Nazar. Nazar, are you with us? Yes, yes. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the invitation. Glory to Ukraine, glory to heroes. Could you just share details about your area of competition and what was your project about? Yes, of course. My animation, my cartoon, uh, also was presented in computer art, and this year I represented Ukrainian team for the first time at the international final because this is my first time in this competition, but I was able to win a gold medal at the international final in Mexico. And just a few words about my project. Since my childhood, I have just adored Lego kids. And but when I grew up, I wanted to find another interesting application for this Lego. And last year, I learned stop motion to shoot cartoon, and so they use different types of materials, and one of the areas to use Lego kids, and I created first YouTube channel, the Lego Fairy Tale, and there I published my stories. I just developed my own magical university, the Magical Kingdom, and my IT teacher at school, Victoria Vitalyevna Ivanova, was interested in my project. And actually, I would like to say that my class just specializes in IT. And my teacher offered me to participate in informatics, and they presented my project, which is called The Three Lungs of Our Planet. Thank you. I have several questions. First to Ihor. We have two participants that were presented in computer art. But can you just tell us about other interesting projects of Ukrainian team, for example, in programming? Yes, thank you. This here, a lot of interesting projects were presented. For example, my favorites are the projects in scientific areas. There were quite comprehensive scientific reports about how to use scripted data. We were also represented in programming. There were two computer games, if I'm not mistaken. That was one logical game, 4 dots, that involves a specific algorithm. And the second game was two-dimension role-playing game. But actually, it is very difficult to classify it because this unites mechanics that are inherent to the whole range of genres. As for other nominations, there was the short cartoon, and there was the project about a girl who lost her puppet during shelling, during explosion, and that cartoon raised the issue of homeless animals in Ukraine during the war. So they are very interesting projects that will be remembered, and we need to promote them. And now we will ask questions to our participants, but I have a question to you. As far as I understand that you have been involved in this competition for several years now, and my question is, how has the war affected the topics? And Yulia, and what you've told us, and what you've mentioned is that, for example, cartoons now reflect the war in Ukraine. So, what is the effect of the war on the area of works of children and teenagers? Last year, there was a simplified version of the competition because we faced blackouts and it was impossible to create some full-fledged projects. And last year, we were not affected by the war that much because usually it takes a year to develop a project. And now, after 1 year of the war, I can say that really a lot of projects are related to the war. For example, from Nizhyn, we got the project to the model of air defense systems. And a lot of art nominations also reflected to war, because we understand that artists, they are more sensitive to such events, and they cannot but reflect this in their work. We also even have certain doubts because of the results, due to the fact that the red line of all the projects for the whole team was the war in Ukraine, but the team has been able to achieve significant results. And I understand that our team just showed the world and it has managed to remind the world about the war in Ukraine. The question to Yulia now, about the topic of your animation series. How was it met by children, teenagers from other countries like Mexico? Do they understand the topic of this animation series? The thing is that I don't know their response because I participated in the conference, and I know the how the judges responded to my cartoon. But how do you think? I think that they will love it if they watch it, of course. Nazar, now the question to you. You mentioned that this is your first experience of participating in this competition. Do you plan to participate in it in the future? And if yes, are you going to continue showing your magic universe, a new twist there, new turns there, or are you going to present something new? And perhaps I will participate the next year because I have a lot of interesting ideas. And of course, now the painful topic in Ukraine related to the war is environment and ecology. And we know about this disaster at the Kakhovka HPP dam. And perhaps I will use more realistic stories now. And this time I presented my project, which was called The Three Lungs of Our Planet. And it was about the red book trees that were just cut down in our country. And I would also like to create an animation about the explosion at the Kakhovka HPP dam. I need to collect materials and information, ideas there, and perhaps quite soon I will just create something new to cover this topic. Thank you very much, Yulia. Thank you for being with us here offline, and would like to thank Nazar and Ihor for being with us online and sharing details about the competition. We hope to see you once again here, maybe with the results of the next year competition. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you. That was the briefing dedicated to the International Computer Project Competition Informatics 2023 that was held at the end of June, at the beginning of July. We invited the participants of that competition. That was the last briefing for today. Please stay tuned.